I want to take a moment to talk about the Haley Joel Osment situation. There's been a lot of whispers with what's been going on, and I wanted to chime in and give my perspective. And for this video, I won't have my usual theatrics with all the editing and the cuts. I'll put on some Kingdom Hearts gameplay in the background, just something to look at, because I more so wanted to focus on us having a conversation around what's happening. And I normally don't talk about super serious subject matters on this channel, and I wasn't going to when the story had first broke because it didn't seem relevant. Although as things continued to unfold and more information came into the light, a lot more concern was raised around this situation. So this story has been presented to us in two different parts. The first was a New York Post article revealing that Haley Joel Osment has been arrested for public intoxication. To clear up any potential confusion, Haley Joel Osment is the voice of Sora in the Kingdom Hearts series. He's been doing the voice since the very beginning, reprising his role throughout the last 25 years or so. He's also been the only voice actor for Sora, even though other characters have came and went. He was drinking and in possession of a controlled substance at a California ski resort. The police had received the call of an intoxicated man at the ski resort, and when Haley went to go get a drink at the bar, they cut him off for showing signs of being way too drunk. When the cops ended up booking him, we got this mugshot showing that big, beautiful smile. And to be honest, when the story had first broke, I thought it was a pretty humorous situation. An actor got locked up for being too turnt, and he's cheesing on camera to the police. I'm definitely guilty of making a joke of the situation, mainly because it's something where nothing really bad happened. Nobody got hurt, nobody was assaulted, or anything of the sorts. I think making jokes in somewhat lighter situations can help alleviate some of the stress surrounding it. Now, I didn't want to make this video at first because I've been there. The amount of times I've gotten a bit too drunk and ended up in situations I shouldn't. I've woken up in pools of my own body liquids, far from my own home, and even in other countries. I know how slippery of a slope alcohol can be. If anything, it gave me a better appreciation for Haley because it sounds like he is the man. If I saw this guy at a party, he sounded like he would be a vibe. Also, this information has very little to do with Kingdom Hearts, and I doubted the situation that he's in would really affect his bottom line. I've seen tons of celebrities get into messier situations, just seemed like something that happened because he flew a little too close to the sun. But then, the second half of the story is revealed. The New York Post follows up their post with another one the next day. Article titled, Haley Joel Osment hurls anti-Jewish slurs at cops, almost loses pants in shocking arrest video. And this is when the narrative had turned from a bender into a much more serious issue. The New York Post released body cam footage of the situation, showing that Haley is clearly inebriated and is having conflict with the cops, saying that the officers were attacking him and accusing the cops of torturing him. Haley saying, I'm an American repeatedly throughout the video. Also saying stuff like, you'll wish you treated me nicer, in which he calls the cop a Nazi and follows up by calling him a Jewish slur. I'm not going to repeat the word, but it's that South Park joke when you combine the names of these two characters. And since this body cam footage has gone public, Haley has released an official apology. I'm absolutely horrified by my behavior. Had I known I used this disgraceful language in the throes of a blackout, I would have spoken up sooner. The past few months of loss and displacement have broken me down to a very low emotional place. But there's no excuse for using this disgusting word. From the bottom of my heart, I apologize to absolutely everyone that this hurts. What came out of my mouth was nonsensical garbage. I've let the Jewish community down and it devastates me. I don't ask for anyone's forgiveness, but I promise to atone for my terrible mistake. And that's where we are now. It's not looking like there's going to be any traditional charges held against Haley, but this situation can have more implications down the line. It is not a good look to have you saying racial slurs on a video camera. Now, what do I think? I think my personal opinion on this situation is irrelevant. I think in the grand scheme of things, I'm just someone who enjoys his professional work. I like the fact that he voices the main character in my favorite video game franchise. But if I was a Jewish person, I feel like I would have a bit more horses in this race. There is one thing that I do want to mention about his apology, and it's the nonsensical garbage comment he makes about saying the word. Because when I drink, even when I get to the point of no return, like full-blown blackout, I do not go around shouting out slurs. I'm of the idea that if you say a word when you're drunk, it's already a part of your lexicon. Once again, I am not a part of the affected demographic, but you can also see his comment doesn't really make much sense, considering he calls the cop a Nazi first and then the slur for Jewish people in the same sentence. He's just drunk rambling in the video. But I do think the opinions of those affected is what really matters, and it is ultimately up to them if they want to accept his apology or not. But then of course, there's the potential business opportunities that could be cooked because of this, as people might not want to work with an actor with footage of them saying a slur to protect themselves. I also want to quickly mention the current political climate of the world, as tensions are much higher with what's happening with Israel and Palestine right now, and anti-Semitism is something that is taken much more seriously. It is not a good time in history to have clips of you being anti-Semitic, and I think it's fair to say that the situation can have effects on his other work, and in this case, Kingdom Hearts. I do want to mention a certain stigma around the Kingdom Hearts community, where people are complaining about those talking about Kingdom Hearts at a time like this. Like, how could you be so selfish worrying about a video game when someone's going through something? I think the Kingdom Hearts space has an over-positivity issue, where even mentioning something negative, even if it's worthy of discussion, is looked at with shame. The idea that bringing up Haley's situation is a bad thing overall. I can be someone who is worried about Haley's well-being while also considering how this can affect the games. Both of these perspectives can exist at the same time, and trying to limit the conversation around these situations just makes our space look worse. If I've learned anything from Kingdom Hearts, light cannot exist without darkness. Both need to coexist for us to have a proper balance, and too much light can be a bad thing. Because of this, I've seen rumblings online of people concerned that Haley is going to be recasted because of this incident, and it's a tough one. Because I try and look at it from a Disney perspective. Disney as a whole is a family-friendly company. They make a good chunk of their cash selling you an illusion of fun and magic. And a big part of this magic is maintaining the facade that nothing can go wrong, as Disney is a company with a long history of anti-Semitic allegations, tagging them all the way back from when Walt Disney was still alive. And they've done so much as a company to rid themselves of these allegations. What I worry about is the potential of someone at Disney not liking these comments and refusing to work with someone who uses such a word, and it being the thing that ends up being his downfall. Because the truth of the matter is, in big productions, it's the people higher up that are making the big yes or no decisions. Entire projects have been halted or cancelled for less reasons, so Disney trimming out an actor for anti-Semitic comments isn't the most unreasonable thing in the world. When the story was just Haley getting too drunk in public, that was one thing, but this now has evolved into a possible press nightmare. I want to make it clear that I do not want something like this to happen. I do not want to live in a world where someone else has to voice Sora in the games, but I also don't want Haley to have this situation ultimately be his undoing. He's gone on interviews and has talked about what's been going on with his home, and how he found a new home after losing his old one in a fire, and how the insurance companies had denied his claim. I feel like anyone in this position is in an appropriate position to want to crash out. I don't agree with the racial comments in the car, and as long as this isn't something that is repeated in the future, I'm okay with accepting the apology and just moving forward. It was a lapse in judgment, and hopefully he can take this opportunity to learn from it. But like I said, I'm just in the position of a fan of Kingdom Hearts. Seeing the series try and move forward without Haley is not something I would ever want, but I also wish the best for him. He's clearly got a lot going on, and if I was in a similar situation, I would hope people could give me the grace to keep it moving. There was an interview before the ski lodge incident where Haley talks about staying with his sister. As a result of losing his home in the wildfire, he's been staying with her for a while, and to give his sister some space, he wanted to get out of the house. So the trip to Mammoth was his way of giving her some time to herself. Also, his parents lost their homes in the California fires too. It's crazy. Being Emily and getting that phone call must have been crazy. But yes, I wanted to make this video because it is somewhat relevant to the channel. I don't enjoy seeing the voices of one of my comfort characters going through it. I hope his situation improves, and I hope he can get the help he needs. He didn't stay in custody for too long, as he was shortly released after his arrest, and he received charges for possessions of cocaine and disorderly conduct while under the influence of alcohol while in public, which are both considered misdemeanors, so it shouldn't be the end of the world. Plus, screw insurance companies. These are the most evil, bureaucratic thieves the world has ever seen, and I wish a million Luigis on all of them. They are truly the villains of this story. But of course, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Does this change how you feel about Haley? Do you also extend your sympathies? I'm of the idea that Kingdom Hearts should be fine. While I have seen jokes on one side of the spectrum, a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans are mainly spreading their sympathies towards him, while others are not exactly sure how to feel with the use of this word. I feel like there would be much more of an uproar if they actually did replace him. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and stay awesome.